The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
Hey guys, welcome back to another one. Yep, it'll be two videos today. The one that you guys got earlier today should have been out yesterday. I recorded that last night, but I only edited it during the day today. Reason being is I had to catch that, I don't know, people are calling it two things. State of the Union, that's how I'm calling it. The State of the Union of Trump. Incredible speech out of Trump, hour and 39 minutes long. I find he slam dunked on the Dems quite a bit. However, the Democrats, man, shameful, shameful, shameful people. Numerous times. Like, instead of being more happy making this video, I'm more angry looking at these clips. We're going to be looking at a few clips that are, you know, liberals, of course, whining about the State of the Union yesterday. So, we're getting into Whining Liberal Men, Part 16, I guess, State of the Union version. Let's get into it.
Trump's just crashing our economy right now, by the way. Are we owned yet? Did the libs get owned? Is this what? Yeah, hell yeah. You fucking morons, you absolute fucking idiots. Genuinely, what the fuck? Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Have fun being drafted to fight for Russia soon, you fucking idiots. That's what's gonna happen. You guys are fucking morons.
Spoiler alert, Donald Trump is gonna lie incessantly tomorrow during his State of the Union address.
Here's something Felon 47 and his lapdog JD Couchbanger seem not to understand. You don't demand respect, you don't request respect, you earn it. And as for Muskrat, you can buy a president, but you can't buy respect.
2-hour speech and didn't even talk about the economy or the stock market, huh? The businessman sure talked a lot about trans people last night. Got some big laughs on that transgender mice comment, too. Proving that motherfucker still can't read. I think someone should remind old Yamtits that he's the president for all Americans, not just the dipshits who also can't read.
I know I spend a lot of time shitting on Trump, but I'm going to shit on the Democrats for a second. Is the best that we have in terms of opposition and Democrat leadership holding up a fucking black note that says false? Is that the best you got? Because we got one motherfucker, one guy from Texas standing up with his cane, shouting without a goddamn mic, we gotta use fucking lip readers, and they throw him out of the room. That's the energy we need.
Here's what's about to happen to us. Trump has spent the last 6 weeks building a tinderbox. When it starts to go, he's going to try to gaslight his way out of it. And if we wait until then, it's going to be too late to get ahead of it. So let's check the scorecard. We already know the housing market is in a terrible place. Consumer confidence is at its lowest point since 2021. And a key group of economists in Atlanta are now predicting the economy could contract by as much as 3% in Q1. That would be the worst since the last time Trump was president. And now his industry-breaking tariffs are about to hit American businesses who import from Canada and Mexico. So far, it's been too early to see any material damage in the numbers. That's about to change, because on Thursday and Friday, we're going to get a private and a public jobs report that show exactly how bad it's getting. Now, they won't tell the whole story because a lot of the jobs data was collected before the biggest layoffs. I do think we're going to see some cracks. And if it's really bad, we might find out that it only took Trump 1 month to break both of Biden's best streaks. 48 consecutive months of job growth and 16 consecutive quarters of GDP growth. GDP growth that I might add was expected to be strong as little as a few weeks ago. But after Trump just told us in January that we were at the beginning of a great, beautiful golden age of business, we're seeing the exact opposite. People said the economy was their #1 issue, and specifically prices. Bring down prices. And his response? Laying off workers, raising taxes, cutting spending that drives GDP, attacking our trading partners, alienating our military alliances, giving the dude who single-handedly destroyed Twitter a skeleton key and a hatchet so he could run through government and destroy any person and any program who ever caused them trouble. But we're wising up to it. They're running scared from town halls. They're looking at farmers and veterans and senior citizens, calling them radical leftist plants because they're too afraid to confront the reality that they have created. We see what's happening, we're calling it out, and we're not going to let up. But we need to be ready because when Trump speaks to Congress, he's going to throw us under the bus. Not just leftists, but all Americans. He's going to say that this is what voters wanted, when in reality, it's only what he wanted. Our only job is to stay on message. Voters wanted lower prices, and Trump gave us the exact opposite. More opportunities for billionaires to exploit at the expense of the middle class. Stay loud, stay angry, stay non-compliant, and in the end, we will force him to own what he's done.
Okay, so right off the bat now, I'm convinced that this guy is completely fraud. I've said it in the past before, like it's kind of frustrating with him because he seems very intelligent and articulate. He speaks very articulately. I mean, it's a little bit easier when you're making jump cuts, right? You just got to say a sentence, stop, a sentence, stop. But he sounds extremely convincing. If you were naive ears, you'd completely believe everything that this guy says. Now, at the end of the video that I just put up earlier today, the Harry Sisson clip, where I cut it up together with the interview with Lindy Lee and Patrick Bet-David, where she's pretty much revealing that, yeah, all these left-leaning influencers are paid. We've known before that Harry Sisson's paid, but it was, you know, just kind of nice to get to call him out one more time on it. I'm convinced that this guy's one of those guys, because how can you appear to be this intelligent? And I know we're speaking about liberals here, so it kind of answers my own question, right? It's a little bit rhetorical. But this guy's a little bit extra special when it comes to the intelligence factor. Again, he speaks very articulately. He seems to have a whole database of information in his head, yet he's pushing complete bullshit. What he's saying here, that Trump, it only took him 6 weeks to start destroying Biden's two greatest strengths. 48 consecutive months of job growth. No, sorry. That's a complete lie. We've even caught them fudging the numbers a few months ago. If you guys remember, they were off, I can't remember by how much, but almost by 1 million jobs. I think it was like 800 and something thousand jobs. If somebody knows the number, correct me in the comments. And then he said 16 consecutive quarters of GDP growth. I don't believe him in that either. Meaning, so since Biden took over, and we've seen stats and charts, right? Legitimate charts of Biden's numbers tank. But no, they want to say, oh, that's because of Trump and his terrible economy apparently was terrible, even though everybody says they had more money in their pocket back then. But this guy literally wants to sit there and tell you a bold-faced lie that Biden had 48 consecutive months of job growth. A lot of those were returned from COVID jobs, and a lot of them were part-time. And 16 consecutive quarters of growing GDP. I cannot take these BS left-leaning influencers. They want to go out and make a buck. That's fine. It's just really frustrating that so many people take the bait and fall for it.
He is 78 years old. He is morbidly obese, and he is on blood thinners. You will outlive him, okay? He rambled up there for 2 hours about trans people. Trans rights are human rights, okay? Trans rights are human rights. He's blaming trans people for everything because he just destroyed the global economy.
So Elon Musk is saying that he's afraid for his safety. Well, he should be. You don't destroy people's lives without consequences.
Trump is about to address a joint session of Congress, the renewal of the American Dream speech. And just so we're all clear where I'm at, I currently have a tall glass of wine in a sourdough starter jar.
Homie, what successes are you referring to? Abandoning Ukraine? Cutting federal funding for our schools? Cutting Medicare? Starting a trade war? Like, what successes are you referring to? It's not my president.
I'm watching this motherfucker address Congress. Y'all motherfuckers don't fight no more. Y'all don't swing no more. Bitches don't swing on presidents no more. We don't beat up old, ugly white men no more. Like, what's going on? Y'all just sitting there taking his motherfucking words like, girl, who gives a fuck about him? Swing on him. Swing. Y'all letting them disrespect you? Put me in Congress. I promise you. I swear to you. I would be in that bitch swinging on every motherfucking body. Bitch, you don't talk over me. I said what the fuck. I said it, president or not, bitch. You will never get a word.
What's the real state of the union? Do you know? Well, the stock market is down, inflation is up, air travel is more dangerous, January 6 criminals are back on the street, court orders are being ignored, the Constitution is being violated, national parks are a mess, there's a measles outbreak, unqualified, unethical people are suddenly running our government departments and services are dysfunctional like never before, dedicated civil servants are getting fired without cause and without notice. Trust among our allies has been shattered. Russia is getting everything it ever wanted without giving us anything. Our spies have been exposed. Our data has been stolen. Citizens are being arrested because they look like immigrants. News outlets are being threatened. Reporters are getting banned. Veterans' benefits are getting cut. Trans people are being terrorized. Climate progress has been reversed. Corruption is occurring at monumental levels. Elon Musk, a guy who couldn't get high-level security clearances, now has access to all of our personal data and is feeding it into AI systems that no one apparently knows anything about. Businesses are spiraling a world of unnecessary uncertainty. 249 years of American democracy appears to have ended. Foreign interference in our election has been enabled. Voter protections are being obliterated, and the likelihood that we'll have another free and fair election is at best uncertain. The state of our country is totally, thoroughly fucked. Do you agree?
Wow. That clip was how long? How long? 1 minute and 47 seconds. He must have said thousands of words. That did he even breathe? You guys might remember him. He came out, a clip of him went pretty viral within these type of videos just a few weeks after the election. He's the one that had the 7 points. And I said he was having a man-baby fit. He threw a worse man-baby fit this time. Wow. It's literally like he sat there with a pen and a paper for like a good hour and thought about what is every single thing wrong with the country. Even if it came to the point where too many leaves fall off the trees during fall, well, that's only because Trump took over presidency and that's his fault now. Oh, snow's a little bit heavier this year. Well, yeah, that's because of Trump. He literally named everything that's wrong, even though it carries over a lot from the Biden administration. But no, everything is Trump's fault. And he's obviously another one of those Russia guys. It seems like all the liberals are nowadays, saying our spies are exposed. We've been giving data over to Russia. Russia is getting all sorts of stuff from us without giving anything back in return. Citizens are being arrested because they look like immigrants. He's just naming off everything. There's too much. I have to, you guys are even noticing, I'm putting jump cuts in here. I have to like pause and like, look, what the heck did he say again? There's just too much information to retain. I don't even know how he was able to like think of all this stuff. It's incredible. But leave it to a liberal. They find each and everything to complain about. He can go outside and his sidewalk is chipped. No, that's because, you know, Trump fired these union workers. Or holy moly. We'll just leave it at that.
You love Ukraine so much, why don't you just go fight there, bitch? If you're so concerned about our money, why don't you go repo that shit? I don't see you at the border. I don't see you housing any homeless veterans. I don't see you adopting any kids. If you love Russia so much, why don't you move there?
Told me he thinks Trump will be president until he stops breathing.
A girl's allowed to have a dream, right?
It's so annoying to me that the Republican Party literally has no morals or values. The only thing they care about is owning the libs. If selling your family members got rebranded as owning the libs, they would sell each and every one of their family members so quick, they would sign up to never see them again. They're insane. Like, they want to say that we're evil, but if Trump offered to set up a concentration camp for liberals in the middle of Times Square, Republicans would immediately sign up for that. Concentration camps. But we're the evil party.
The reason a bunch of Republicans are going on the news saying that they would have such an easy time in the next election is because they stole the last one.
I'm sorry, but every Democrat in that chamber should have stood with Al Green and walked out. Like, you're asking what we want you to do. That's what we want you to do.
So a couple things. I'm not watching The State of Delusion being led by DJT. I've seen a couple of clips and I wanted to talk about them. Before we get into it, the algorithm has changed. Leave a like, leave a comment, repost, and watch this video all the way through. Hold here for 2x speed. The first clip I saw was Congressman Al Green from Texas. So far is the only one I think stood up during his speech and called him out on his BS. He got removed, but he stood up. I think Jasmine Crockett got up and walked out, but didn't make a scene about it. The rest of the Democrats are holding up signs that say numerous things, like false, pay your taxes. And then as the speech went on, a few Democrats did get up and walk out as well, and they had black t-shirts that said resist on the back of them. Kinda wish Hakeem Jeffries joined them. He just sat there, showing decorum. Hakeem, what you doing, man? What's going on with you? Apparently DJT straight up said that the muskrat is the head of Doge. We all knew that, but he said weeks ago that he wasn't. Now he's saying he is. So it's like, did you lie then or did you lie now? Regardless, he lied in court, which is perjury. So Judge Chunkin, get him. And then there was this part where he was talking about why Social Security should be cut. And he was naming random ages that clearly he was pulling out of the dark recesses of his anatomy. He was talking about there are 2 million people over the age of 200 and then one over the age of 300. When he said 300, he almost corpsed. He literally almost laughed at his own lie. But the Republicans, oh my God, white, straight, cis, able-bodied, rich male. Yes, speak to me. The rest of it was his greatest hits. Same old, same old. Biden sucks. Obama sucks. Everything that goes wrong has nothing to do with me. It's all the Dems' fault. You've heard it all before. Give me your thoughts down below if you watched it. Stay hopeful. Trust your guts. You're not crazy.
Okay, so similar to the situation with the Oval Office with the Oval Office meeting last Friday, this is another influencer who's out there and he's going to give you a recap and spread and pour all of his knowledge upon you watching just a couple of clips. Now, myself, when it comes to these type of things, if I'm going to speak on it, I'm going to watch the entire situation so at least I can get the context of what led up to certain situations. We got to talk about the Democrats real quick here. It was disgraceful. I was embarrassed for them as a conservative. They looked like a bunch of spoiled, pouting children. It was absolutely disgusting. They've convinced me even more now that they're vile people. Any of you liberals out there that actually support the Democrat Party really need to wake up. I pick on you guys about your empathy and how I feel that it's artificial. They just proved to you yesterday they have zero empathy. None. Not for you, not for anybody else. These people are not for their country. I know I've accused liberals of being the same thing, that they have more empathy for people across the other side of the world than they do with their own citizens. But the Democrat Party made that abundantly clear yesterday. There were so many situations, even if they have a hatred for Trump, that they had no reason not to stand up and clap at certain situations. Obviously, you guys have seen that clip with the poor 13-year-old little boy, the brain cancer survivor. That was a really nice thing for him yesterday. You know, that meant a lot to him. Of course, you know, it's just a political stunt by Trump. They won. Actually, I can't remember her name, but one Democrat stood up. So at least one of them had the actual decency to stand up for that poor little boy. You know how happy that moment made him? The look of shock in his face when the Secret Service dude, Sean, I forget his last name, Sean Curran, I think his last name is, when he went up, either way, one of them at least had the decency. The rest of them sat there in unison, like they typically do, these Democrats, with their little signs and their little smart-ass, you know, facial expressions. You guys remember the Borg in Star Trek? That's what these guys are. They have like this hive mind, like the Borg. They're absolutely useless. And then when it comes to Lake and Riley's family and Jocelyn's mom, do you picture being in their shoes and looking down on that Democrat crowd that doesn't even give you any recognition whatsoever? Now, obviously, I know that these swamp creatures, some of them must have children. They should actually have a little bit of a heart. And they have obviously no idea what it feels like to actually lose a child. And this pisses me off because, believe it or not, I actually have a little bit of experience in this field. Back in 2022, I lost my oldest son. He was 24 years old. I, in a way, have every right to hold the Biden administration and the Trudeau administration accountable for that. So this type of little situation here pisses me off quite a bit because they actually have no idea what those parents are going through. And I don't know what they're going through either because I did not lose my child in a fashion like they lost theirs. The only time these vile people actually stood up and clapped is when it came to the Ukraine funding. I'm very happy that Trump called out Elizabeth Warren, calling her Pocahontas. Al Green deserved to be kicked out, him and his roadmap face. I think I'm going to end this rant at this point. Let's get on to the next clip.
Hey, a little message for all you porch maggots. Don't come on my shit and comment, and when I call you out on it, you act like a little bitch and delete the comment. Quit being like your fucking bitch-ass daddy Trump and own your fucking shit. Don't be a pussy here. Oh, no. We're calling out pussies and fucking bullshit and racists and everything else. Don't come here with your bullshit, then delete it. Go fuck yourself.
We're this now. We're this now. Yep, we're this now. You want to make people mad? Just start calling it this.
This is just your reminder. If somebody has a list of things and they don't release it right away, it's probably because they need to make changes to it first. Just keep that in mind.
I don't know why you got upset. All I said was I thought it was a little messed up that God saved Donald Trump from a bullet, but not that kid from brain cancer.
Breaking news. If you watch the State of the Union speech, then you know that Donald Trump had a representative removed for being disruptive. And then right after having this representative removed for being disruptive, for yelling what he felt, Donald Trump announced that free speech is back.
All right, this may or may not be a hot take from a progressive who watched the entire joint congressional address to Congress tonight, but Democrats, you didn't do enough. AOC not attending, I get it. Al Green shaking his cane and shouting at Donald Trump to the point that he was escorted out of the chamber, that's meaningful. Jasmine Crockett wearing a shirt that says resist and silently walking out midway through, that helps. But the rest of you waving these little signs that say false, silently sitting there, you were in Harry Potter's chamber of sycophants, and yet you let the basilisk that is Donald Trump devour you while you sat in decorum. Decorum in the face of tyranny is itself an act of tyranny. Do you not see that? Donald Trump was railing on about the end of an age of unelected bureaucrats running this country while Elon Musk looked down on us and laughed. See, the truth is the house is burning down around you, and rather than bringing fire hoses or getting the hell out of there, you watched it burn. I don't get the approach. I don't get the strategy. This is not the time to sit silently when you have the entire nation watching your response to a man who is dismantling our democracy and clawing it to shreds. Putin cheering him on. It's not enough.
So this brain-dead liberal actually approves of the approach that they took yesterday. As a matter of fact, he doesn't think it was enough. Al Green getting up and wagging his little cane around, complaining about Medicaid and that there is no mandate. He approves of that. AOC not showing up, like, ooh, that's her taking a stand. You know, everybody noticed that AOC wasn't there. Jasmine Crockett with her little resist shirt walking out like as if that was a mic drop moment. Didn't even know it was her when she left. They didn't really care. And as he points out, them holding up their cute little black stop signs and what is it? Not Ilhan Omar. What's the other one? Rashida Tlaib with her little chalkboard thing, her little whiteboard that she can keep writing on, telling Trump to pay his taxes. It was ridiculous and it was embarrassing. So the fact that he's actually in approval of this but thinks it wasn't enough, this is why there's a mandate now. The Democrat Party at this point in time is probably literally the most shameful, woke, out of touch political party on the planet. They lost for all these reasons, acting the way that they do. And they also lost because Donald Trump was a much better contender. But they just figure that they're going to double down. They just don't get it. So, as I've said in the past, they're not getting back in the White House for at least 12 years. I think they really solidified that yesterday. Actually, as a matter of fact, I mean, look, the CNN polls that came out about viewership, I think they were 69% of people approved of everything that Trump said. And I think it was it ABC or CBS? I think it was CBS. 70 some odd percent of people approved of what Trump was saying. They lost voters yesterday. more people are leaning to the right now. This party is finished. You want to have a better chance of getting back in the White House, liberals? Get all of them out. Every one of them, and start over. It's like a hockey team that sucks and refusing to change your roster, and all these people that you thought were going to be superstars are getting old now. But it's not only to that point, now it's to the point where they're shooting pucks at their own goalie. This party is lost, and they've dug themselves in a really deep hole. It's over for them. 12 years. 12 years at least before they're back in the White House. I thank you guys for putting up with my rant this evening. I do have one more clip for you guys, and after the anger that is consumed me in this video, I wanted to end it off with a based individual clip that I came across yesterday that I thought would be really nice to end off this video with. Like, comment, subscribe if you guys are new, and I shall see you guys in the next one.
I want to talk to the white man. Dear white man, can you hear me? Let me tell you something, whitey. It's not illegal for you to be white. There's nothing wrong with you being white. And it's not fair that every day you wake up in your life, you are already on trial because you are white. Somebody trying to tell you what your ancestors did, don't even know your goddamn ancestors. Somebody trying to tell you what you believe in. Somebody trying to tell you how you feel. And then on top of that, we got people in leadership position, our political figures, teasing you and telling you white boy tears, white boy tears. Then they make all these different TV channels full of blacks, only black, and pick on a white man. You can't even say nothing to defend yourself, because you say something to defend yourself, then you're automatically racist. You think that's right? I don't. And I think you deserve compensation. I just want you to know I love you. Racist white folks, I'm obviously not talking to you. I'm talking to my patriots. I'm an American, you're an American. And you can be proud of being a white American. I'm proud of being a black American. And one thing we got in common is, goddamn, we Americans. And I love you, patriot. I think y'all need to start taking a stand against these people trying to tease you and make you feel bad for being white. There's nothing wrong with that. God put you in that white body, then hallelujah. I respect you in your white body. And I respect myself and I respect my black body. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm tired of people trying to make you feel like you're guilty for it. Fuck.